Orchestrating a 5/6 in minor, otherwise known as a deceptive cadence. Let's focus on what to do about voice leading in regards to the ever-present danger of parallel fifths. So if you look at, let me just play the whole thing. Let's look at the bass, the cellos and the violas. Okay, they are in a perfect fifth. That goes to another perfect fifth. Okay? And one could say, well, maybe it's an accident, you know. But then we look at the bassoons, and we see that it is exactly the same thing. Okay? And parallel fifths are less noticeable when they're not with the bass, okay? But here, the bass is clearly, you know, okay? If the parallel fifths was like with the kind of upper registers or something, I think it would be less egregious because the human ear always kind of associates, there's two basic dichotomies. There's the bass, and then everything above that kind of functions in conjunction with the melody. So here, one could say it's quite egregious, but I have two things to say about that. One, you cannot be a slave to music theory. That's absolutely ridiculous. You have your own style, so if that's what you're hearing, that's what you want, then go ahead and do that. Another more practical reason why I don't think I even followed this, I certainly wasn't thinking about these rules, but I think there is a more practical reason, which is, again, why you should never be a slave to the theory. You have to be kind of chained instead to yourself and what you're really hearing, your ear, okay? The dictation from the heavens. So let me play this incorrectly, aka resolving or getting rid of this parallel fifth. So let me play just the cellos and the violas. Right? As we learn music theory, it's the way you avoid that parallel motion is you have the fifth of the 5 chord go down to the third of the 6th chord. Okay. Which of course means that there's going to be a doubled third usually, because you'll see that the leading tone has to go to the, right? In the violins, okay. So let me play the whole progression now, you know, doing the incorrect but officially approved version. Now, on a piano, that doesn't sound half bad. However, based on my aesthetic, I found that this interval here in the lower register was kind of creating unnecessary encumbrance in the sound. In other words, for my ear, I found that in general, the thirds in the lower register, they don't pass very quickly in terms of sound. And that can be done, you can exploit that for your own good, but there's many times where I find I rather just have a clear bottom, you know, clear open fifths. And so this case, I just did what I wanted to hear, okay? One other thing I also noticed is, like, if I had resolved this quote correctly, then I would have no one on the fifth here. And so sometimes you have a certain orchestration you want, which is really a more advanced word for harmony. And in order to preserve the logic and so that you don't have the voices doing crazy stuff, you know, you want good voice leading, you will have to ignore some of the so-called sacred rules that were given before us.